All right, more day three corners. Let's try to find the next magic one. Cory Trice, next up here, Purdue Boilermaker, 23 years old. Big. 6'3", 206 pounds, one of the bigger corners in this draft. Arms, not super long, but long enough, 32 and 3/8, 9 and 3/4 inch hands. 4'4", 740, 156, 10-yard split. 35.5-inch vert, 11-foot flat broad, 17 BP. So some pretty good measurables there, actually. A couple big boards have him going in the third. The aggregate currently has him going late fourth, early fifth range. I think that's a little more realistic. He only really has one recent year of big production because of injuries. Last year he did play 13 full games, 32 tackles, 2 picks, 10 passes defensed, and a 73.9 PFF grade. Really nice season. Helped put him on the map just in time for the draft. Now, one thing that's interesting about Cory Trice is that he has some reps in his past at safety, and flexibility is the name of the game. We love that around here. He's big, like I said, one of the biggest corners in this draft. He's very physical as well. He uses his size well. He's hard to deal with at the line of scrimmage, hard to deal with at the while running the route. He's a very physical player. He's got good ball skills as well. Made a good number of plays on the ball last year. He can hang with receivers in man coverage fairly reliably, even though he's big. He's not super slow. He's a solid tackler, and he does have a little bit of zone flexibility as well. So, little bit of scheme flexibility here, and also explosive. An explosive athlete, I would say. Now, I don't think he's a great mover. Like, his change of direction skills could be better. I mean, when you're that big, it's kind of hard to change directions quickly sometimes. It's not shocking. Sometimes I feel like even though there is a little bit of positive, there is some positive stuff with him with his zone skills. Sometimes I feel like he doesn't process the information as quickly as he needs to. His top speed is middling. Again, you would expect it because he's so big. And more than anything, he's had quite a few injuries at Purdue and missed a lot of time because of it. His whole career felt a little fragmented. I like a lot about Cory Trice. I could see him having success in the Pete Carroll defense, but I do feel like he'd be better in man. That being said, I would definitely take the shot on him and try to develop him into a zone corner who has that flexibility in the fifth round. I would definitely be willing to do that, and I feel like he could definitely make that transition. There's so much stuff here that is likable. He's got the size, he's got decent length, he's got explosiveness. These are things that should work when he gets to the NFL as well. Okay, now we have Cameron Brown of the Ohio State Buckeyes, 23 years old, 6 feet tall, 199, 31-inch arms, 9-inch hands, kind of, normal, like kind of right around average, feels like. ESPN is the big board that really liked him. They have him in the fourth. However, the aggregate has him like in the early seventh or late sixth. Quite a few of these big boards had him hanging around that very back end of the draft as well. And it's not hard to see why. Over the last 2 years, he's missed a decent amount of time. He's played in a total of 17 games over the last 2 years, 39 tackles. He's got 1 interception and 12 passes defensed. So there is some good stuff here, but it's all a little bit fragmented. 71 PFF grade in coverage approximately last year is not bad, but it's hard to get really excited about anything here, right? What I would be excited about with him is that he's good when he's pressing at the line. He's got a strong jam at the line of scrimmage. Short area quickness is pretty good. He can keep up with receivers pretty well. He's a physical in run support. He's willing to throw himself around, throw himself at running backs and receivers who have the ball. Not a shying away from contact. And I do think he'll be good in a zone-heavy defense as well. I think he understands zone. I think he understands zone concepts. And at the very least, I can say he has decent size and length. Now, there's a reason why he's missed some games lately. He's already suffered 2 major injuries in his Ohio State career, and I believe he had another minor one. So this guy has gotten injured a lot in his college career. He's not that big, and he's not that long. Like, it's okay. So it's not a negative, but it's not really a positive. He's got awkward transitions when flipping hips. He definitely struggles, I think, to go from being a guy who's facing the line to a guy who's got his back to the line. His footwork is not very good, inconsistent, just kind of in general. Generally, there are some good reps there, but I think his technique just needs work. And maybe that makes sense. He's missed so much time lately because of all the injuries. And ball skills, they're okay, but he's got one interception in the last 2 years. Like the passes defensed are okay, but I feel like the ball skills are just kind of lacking. So I just don't feel the need to spend a draft pick on this guy. There's way too much to not be into here. The injuries alone would kind of kill it for me, but when you combine that with the fact that he has unremarkable physical traits, he's unremarkable with his footwork, unremarkable with his transitions, I UDFA target. That's about all I can say for him. I'm just not feeling this one. I think we can utilize our picks on better, more impressive, and maybe more needed players. Okay, Starling Thomas the fifth. This is a tough guy to find anything on. It's like he doesn't exist according to a lot of the internet. UAB, could not find his age. 5'10", 194 pounds, 30 and 3/8 inch arms, 9 and 3/4 inch hands. Ran a very nice 40, 4.340. It was at his pro day though. All these numbers are from his pro day. Pretty good vert, okay broad. Bad 3-cone and 20-yard shuttle though, so he's got good straight line speed and he's somewhat explosive, but his short area quickness and change of direction is a mess. And every big board that I utilize regularly does not have him except for PFF, and they have him in the fourth. Figure that one out. The aggregate has him in the fifth. He's got 1 year of stats at UAB that I was able to find. 30 tackles, 15 passes defensed. So we can at least say he's got good ball skills, right? Pretty good PFF coverage grade as well. So there is some stuff to hang your hat on here, but there's a lot of stuff you got to get past first. He's fast and he's got great ball skills. That's obviously at the very head of his resume. He's good at sitting back in zone and recognizing the play design and reacting to it, I think. I think he's a cerebral cornerback. He's an aggressive and solid tackler as well. I don't think he's going to take anything away from you there. He's got great play strength. He can dictate a matchup physically, both at the line of scrimmage and down the field. And he's got enough speed, like Tariq Woolen. He's a guy who can get beat and then recover, get back into the play, and make the play. A lot of guys can't do that. This guy can. However, the short area quickness and change of direction are kind of a mess. I think this is like 10th percentile. And this was at his pro day, by the way. I don't think he'll ever be a very good man corner, even though he's got great speed, because his change of direction stuff is just ugly. And while he held up fine physically at UAB, you look at this and you go, this guy's a little small. 5'10", 30 and 3/8 inch arms, not going to cut it. And he can get a little bit grabby too, another one of those. So overall, I like a lot of things about Starling Thomas the fifth, but I can only go so far with it when he's this small. like it's just tough to see this fully translating. I'd take him in the 6th round. I'd wait for a little bit of a drop. I can't quite go 5th because I don't have a lot of confidence in it translating to the NFL. But if he's there in the 6th round, then hey, the speed alone, maybe I turn him into a really good punt returner or kick returner or something. There's got to be something I can do with a guy with 4.3 speed. But there's way too much working against him for me to take him even in the first half of day 3 for Starling Thomas. One more guy for this video. It's Carrington Valentine of the Kentucky Wildcats. Could not find his age. 6 feet flat, 193 pounds, 32 1/4 inch arms, 9 1/4 inch hands. Pretty decent size. Nice jumps, 39-inch vert, 10 foot 8 inch broad, 9 bench press reps. So a little bit on the weak side maybe, but pretty good in terms of his explosiveness. Few big boards had him going undrafted. CBS actually had him in the 4th though. The aggregate currently has him in the 7th. Mid to early 7th, I believe. He's given you a lot of production the last 2 years as a player. Over 100 tackles in 25 games. 1 interception and 15 passes defensed. 70 PFF grade flat last year. So there is some decent ball production, I would say. Now, this is a guy who was actually playing wide receiver until recently, so that gives him some room to grow, which is cool. He's probably going to get a lot better because he's new to the position, and also the fact that he's a former wide receiver should mean that he has good hands and ball skills. And we've seen decent ball production from him so far, but it should get a lot better. So there is upside here. He plays very physically. He's great in press. Uses those long arms, or somewhat long arms, well. He should also be a very useful piece on special teams and coverage. His change of direction skills are good. He's talented in that area. He's very explosive, and he can hang with receivers in man coverage solidly. He's somebody who can keep up with any kind of route, pretty much. Now, he's not small, but he's not big, so I don't know how that physicality is going to translate to the NFL, admittedly. I feel like even though he's pretty good in press, he needs to work on his technique. He can get caught out of balance sometimes. He can occasionally put himself in awkward situations when he's pressing because he lunges a little too much. He is a guy who will be guilty of busted coverages because he just had a brain fart about where he was supposed to be. So there are going to be some busted coverages, some broken coverages with him. And just in general, I think he can play overly aggressive sometimes. So this is difficult. This, there's some stuff I like. At the end of the day, I do feel like he'll be better in man, but I like the improvements he is making, and I like his chance to improve significantly in the next few years as he develops more comfort with the position that he's playing. So I don't think you need to spend anything more than a sixth round pick on him, but I would do that. I would look him up in the sixth round. A little bit of a reach according to the aggregate, but I like this guy enough to do that. There's enough positive here for me to feel like I can spend that sixth round pick on him and not feel like I got gypped. At the very least, he'll be good on special teams, I think, because he's bringing some physicality there. All right, see you guys later. Go Hawks. One more video of corners later.